we got caught up with Mark Arsenal he founded Illest Valets. Yeah. So
I don't believe in self-made, right?
Oh.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Under Wraps podcast here at SS Customs. Today we have a very special guest on our lifestyle segment. We're going to be talking with a good friend and I guess you could say industry colleague, Johnny from Rad House. You know what I mean? So I'm going to give you that, jump into it real quick.
I appreciate it.
And he's known as one of the leaders out here, pioneers for the automotive scene. But before I tell you exactly about what it is, I'll introduce you to our co-host here.
Hey Jay, you already know what's up. I had to peep the questions right quick, see what you're going through. You know what I'm saying?
He's trying to get prepared, ready real quick. But man, before I jump into too much about talking about what Rad House is, it's probably one of the questions you get asked the most in terms of what is Rad House? What do you guys do? Is it a car club? Is it a get together? Is it
Right.
What is it? You know what I mean? Something in the scene. All I can say, he's got a good presence out here in the San Francisco Bay Area in terms of the automotive scene, and it's a very unique, eclectic type of crew and community. So, without further ado, what is Rad House?
Right on. Well, first of all, thanks for having me.
Of course,
I
of
really
course,
appreciate
man.
you guys inviting me.
Yes, sir.
The hospitality is awesome.
Good to
guys
see
have
you
always
again.
been awesome to work with.
I
But
appreciate that.
Rad House obviously is, just a German name in translation, it's wheelhouse. So when you translate it, it obviously started off because of wheels. So it started off with one of my good buddies, John Jay. He started a company called Enhancement Machine. That's what it's called now. But he's out of Richmond, and he has a CNC machine, like lathe and all this whatnot, in his garage. And we basically started Rad House as an idea to do wheel conversions, like custom wheel conversions. And then we basically would chop OEM wheels. And then if you ever see my BMW,
Oh shoot, we seen that stuff online. There's like a couple of Instagram guys I follow.
Yeah.
It's like when you take a stock
Yeah.
center wheel and you make
Exactly.
convert it into all that.
yeah, so we took we
pretty
started off
sick.
with Bimmer wheels, and because we were like huge Bimmer guys. And then, so if you ever seen my Laguna, those bottle caps, we converted those. We chopped the 14 phase.
So you heard of like
17.
Chamorro Boy and all that
Chamorro
stuff?
Boy is the homie, yeah.
Yep.
Chamorro Boy, and then Paul, EV Works, he's a big BBS distributor, Aiden. Yeah, so all these guys start talking. John Jay's a real good friend of mine, like a mentor to me. And he's just one of those people that, like, when you kick it with him, he's just like, he inspires you. And then, like, you just walk away so inspired with so much ideas. He's just like a master at his craft. He, like, perfectionist, like, reads books like an old school, like an OG. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
doesn't trust the internet. He only trusts books because these are published and, like, have been looked over by professionals. Not like a Wikipedia where, like, I could throw something on Wikipedia, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, that's how we started it. And then, that's a hard industry, right, in itself. Like, you got big dogs like Rotiform, BBS, obviously. So,
Not many people doing those conversions though, bro.
now you'll be surprised. There's a lot of people doing it. And then to the point where it was so hard to find just that client. Like, you could talk to like 100 people, right? And then you'll have maybe one or two serious people that want to have, like to have the pockets to do it. So you answer all these questions about like wheel conversions, like specs, sizing, like the idea that you have, and then when push comes to shove, it's hard to close the deal. So it was really we transitioned because it wasn't really working out, and then to focus just on automotive lifestyle and events. So behind the scenes, we still kind of do it, but we don't advertise it. It's more like for the homies, like through word of mouth. Like if somebody recommended somebody, if we think it's a dope idea, we'll do it. Like if it's a dope wheel, it's never been done before, we'll be like, okay, yeah, that sounds interesting. We're down to do some dope stuff, so we'll do it.
So you still dabble in it a little
We
bit.
definitely do. Like it's more for ourselves, and then like I said, for the homies, because we're down to make dope stuff. Something that like just pushes boundaries, and it's like, yeah, we're the first ones to do that.
So you started off in that custom wheel stuff, but then that obviously evolved, right? Changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is it that you're not considered a wheel customizer?
Yes.
Was that what people know you as?
I guess
When they say Rad House?
Yeah, so everybody thinks it's a wheel company because when they
Okay.
look it up, it's like wheelhouse. I literally got a DM not too long ago where a guy was like, "Are you guys, do you guys sell wheels, or can you recommend me to like what kind of specs I could get?" And we're like, "We don't really do that anymore. Just the nature of the name, we transitioned to everything automotive because of wheels, right? So we just decided to call it Roadhouse and then just focus on lifestyle and events because everything really on wheels is like what we cover."
Yeah. I think there's another connotation out here when people say, because I keep hearing you say Rod House, which is probably the correct way of saying it. But out here, I think a big cultural thing in the past decade has been the rad era, right?
Yeah.
So it's like everything,
the classics.
80s, 90s.
So that's also
cool
like
vibe.
a play on that too, because we focus on like the classics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that not only is it just by pure definition wheelhouse, but if you guys look at all the marketing and what we focus on is classic cars and like old school.
Yeah, because I've noticed that's what I initially thought when I saw the name. I didn't know it was a playoff. I didn't know that it was a translation. Did you know that? It was a wheel thing?
I had no idea.
Yeah, I just learned that right now. I'm like, oh shit.
Not a lot of people know that.
Yeah. So it was basically a play off the wheel thing.
Yep.
And then that turned into what it is.
Yeah.
Today is more of, I guess you would say, is like a car community hub. You guys are organizers.
Yeah. So we just automotive events is the main focal point of what we do now. Is just trying to host events, cars and coffees, car shows, meets. I mean, all of that.
You say we. How big's your team? Do you have a team, or is it Celadella? Royal we.
Yeah, officially, it's really just me and my wife and my son, and then we get people from the community that contribute. Shout out to Abraham Kirby, Turbo Kirby. Turbo Kirby?
Yep.
Asphalt Guns. These guys are like 10, 15 deep, and then they always come and like offer their support. And like do the dirty work, like the grunt work. These guys, shout out to these guys, man. Real talk. Yeah, but
There we go.
give them their flowers for sure. Yeah, definitely appreciate those guys. Good family to the organization for sure. Yeah, but officially it's a family thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. And how long would you say that this brand's been established now?
Man, let me go back to the Insta, because when we started the page, we were literally like, what are we gonna do? Let's just make it into a page and
How
see where
do
it
they
goes.
find you on Insta?
It's CA_RADHAUS.
All right.
Yep. So let me see the first post. I want to say, pause. Crickets. Hold
Yeah,
on.
we gonna cut it. We gonna
Yeah,
cut it.
No. I'll give it to him. There you go.
Okay. See, that just goes to show, like, I've been posting mad stuff.
Yeah.
And then that's the one thing too, is with the social media part, you got to be consistent with your posts.
Damn, you about to go through all your posts right now?
I'm trying to go to the first one to see when we
Man.
jumped it up. It's, I want to say 2016 to be real.
Okay, 2016.
2016.
Okay.
Yep.
That's not bad. I moved out here 2017, so that was right around the corner. Man, that's a while though. That's a minute.
Yeah, but that's obviously it took some years for us to get established into the scene, and it was still kind of up in the air when it all started. We were just like, are we doing wheels, or what are we gonna do? But we know we have to be in social media, because that's where it's like you have to have a presence there.
Yeah.
Are you we're still trying to figure it out?
Are you one of the longest lasting car club event organizers out here right now?
I don't know.
I don't know
I've
anybody else
never
that's been
really
around that
asked.
long.
I've never really asked other people to.
There's
be
a lot of
honest.
new age guys out here that operated in around the same era as him. Vault's probably newer. BCR, which is probably a spin-off one of those, Breakfast Club Rally.
I love those guys.
There's a bunch of people that have started all around this era.
Yeah.
In terms of that type of, the original OG event organizers like Good Guys Association and stuff like that, they're still rocking, dude.
Oh, really?
And they started right here in San Francisco. Pleasanton. That was their headquarters. I think they just moved their entire HQ to Texas recently, but that's probably one of the largest automotive event organizers that I know of that's been around for a long time. So shout out to like OG guys like that, like with the lawn chairs out, you know what I mean, with the cool old school classic cars.
Hey, well, I stay with the
know what
lawn
I mean?
chairs in the trunk. That's all I'm saying. I'm forever ready.
Yeah, man. So those guys are there, but in terms of modern era, new age stuff, anybody that come, you would probably be up there with those guys that I'm thinking of that are well established now.
Oh man, I appreciate it.
that have been around for a minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that says a lot too, because I was just telling him, and then I wish I would have waited till he was on camera, because I didn't know that he didn't know that you're actually known as like the father of like all the new age hosts, man, like Bay Euros, BCL, Beyonce Lemon, shout out both of them. Vault, like everybody always like refers to you as like the father of the host because of how far you go out of your way to help everybody else that's trying to do something similar.
Man, it's so crazy to hear that, because it's like I said, it's never reached me.
Yeah.
So it's like very humbling to hear that that's what's being said, and that means a lot, man. To be
That was
honest.
the first thing I've actually heard about you, like was your name and then that, like it's synonymous, man. So
that's dope. Because sometimes when we do the events, it like it tears you down, man. So you'll be like, you'll go home and you're just like, man, do I want to keep doing this? This is a lot of work.
So what is it that tears you down, man? So we're gonna have to revisit that. So this whole car club thing, car organization, I touched a little bit on, having a car club organization in the past, but in the modern era, new days, I know what problems I used to face back in the days. Today's eras, you got car shows, you got young people, older people. You're a very eclectic car group of organizers. So you got all types of different cars and different types of owners from different types of areas. You're all packing them into either a garage, underground garage, rooftop garage, some type of venue, doing something, right? Throughout the year. Or a drive or a run. What are some of the things that irk you, man? Or that are just like, man, they beat you up at the end of the day?
Yeah, so like I said, it's really just me and my wife and my son, and then back then my son was young. So now he's 15, 16, so he's now he could do more work. But between just us three, it's a lot of work, so you're stretched thin running these events, just trying to be at the front door, put out fires, or you're talking to maybe the property manager, there's an issue here. So you're like literally running all over the place to the point where the whole event just seems like a blur. So everybody's having a good time. You see the post media, right? It looks awesome. And then this happens time and time again where it's just like, man, I don't even remember seeing that car. I don't even remember that part happening because I was out here doing this, so
on the grind.
Yep. So it's always a grind for sure. There's definitely other components that play into it, from not just running the events, but your attendees and their kind of their behavior. That could also be an issue, right? Because then you set so much time and effort to run these events, and then all it takes is just one person to mess it up, right? And then even though it's not you per se or somebody that you associate with, just because it happened at your event, automatically it kind of is
bad press
for you, because it's like, okay, that happened at his event. That's like what he's about. That's like, no, we do everything we can to avoid that from happening. But it's like thousands of people are here, Yeah.
Yeah. That's always a worry as the leader or the head of any organization, is that that all of that rides ultimately on your head. Other people, like AJ said, might be able to share with the worry of that with you, which is amazing that people would step up that far. But the ultimate liability lies in your head. If something doesn't go right, you're like, damn, the fingers are going to ultimately come back up to you, right?
Right.
So you try to do the best to avoid situations like that, mitigate them from happening. And I can only imagine, man, what it is, because those events are not small. I mean, what's the largest event that you guys thrown with, like, cars?
Man, I want to say the annual Oktoberfest, the one that you guys participated in on the rooftop, I want to say that was maybe 1,500 cars registered.
I was going to say, was that bigger than the Alliance?
The Alliance was massive.
That was
man.
deep.
Yeah. So
that was deep.
Shout out to the Alliance.
Alliance was just a collective of organizers, right?
It was the major hosts. So you had him, you had Bay Euros, Flix was there too, right?
Barry
and
Flix,
then Beyonce Limits.
Mike, yep.
So all the four largest people came together.
Yeah,
shut
see,
down
for
the city.
me, when I hear like a lot of these names and organizers, I've been around the car game for so long that a lot of these are newer names to me.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I've done so many car events, so many car meets, so many things over the years, like from the forum days and before that, right?
Yeah.
And so when people didn't really have any social media groups that you could just join on Facebook, it was just like, it wasn't IG, it was just forums. Like, hey, we're all going to come and hang out here, there. from that time to now. The new modern age, I would say there's only several people that I see as hitters, and the organization that you guys throw, which is why I think he's gravitates towards you guys so much, is like there's only a pocket full of you guys that actually throw on good events.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That people actually want to go to. So I would definitely consider you as one of the forefront guys there, and I think Asia has definitely mirrors that feeling.
100%.
But
I appreciate it.
right now, you guys are the alliance was different than Oktoberfest in terms of how many people went, like organizers.
Yeah. So Oktoberfest was just the three, right?
Was it in Cali too?
Yeah, it's Cali Creamin', Bay
from
Euros,
SoCal, Bay Euros,
and then your boy.
Yep.
The alliance actually had so take out Cali Creamin' and then throw in Flicks, like Shots by Flicks is what it is. He's actually a photographer, right? And then there's Beyond City Limits. So Flicks he's a monster, like alone. Like he does what everybody else does, but he's just solo. Like he'll throw, and he's mainly like muscle cars. He has like all the people that are like 1,000+ horsepower, all go to his thing. He's more like Sanho based, but he's just a monster, man. He's a single guy. He doesn't usually get a team to help him. He just runs around like a chicken without its head, dude, and just like lays things down. BCL, he blew up big from location. So Beyond City Limits has been around for a couple of years, like 3 or 4 at this point. He originally started over in Ireland, but because he had Ocean Beach on lock, that location just helped him blow up like crazy. And then Bay Euros, he took over the Euro community. I don't know what group was there before, but for the modern side, like he's the one who brought.
Don't you live right by Ocean Beach?
Yeah, that's how I became really good friends with the host of Beyond City Limits. He's actually one of my neighbors.
You're like what, 5 minutes from Ocean Beach or something?
Yeah, finally, yeah.
It's a
Give or
dope
take.
spot. I lived over there too.
It's
42nd
great.
and Uloa.
Yeah, see, I'm
Where
30.
you
Yep,
There you go.
right there.
Yeah, so
Over Sunset.
so that's why it was so much more appealing to you, because I never really went out that far. I mean, like
Well,
I don't
they're
really like going to the
huge.
city in the first place. So
Yeah, they're huge, dude. Like he fills the entire parking lot. That's like 1,000 people plus.
I've been to the
Elite.
Half Moon Bay one a couple times. I want to
Those
say
are-
he does one there, right?
Yeah, and those are tiny, bro. Like
Though
that's
that was really tiny, the lot there.
fraction of the size
Yeah.
of Beyond City Limits. Like Beyond City Limits hits damn near Oktoberfest size, but it's a car meet. It's not even an event. It's just a meet. Like it's crazy. Everybody comes out. People come from Sacramento. They wake up at like 3 a.m., get everything ready, and then drive down just to be there because it's an
Jeez.
early one. Like, bro, it's wild.
Yeah.
Like
a lot of
So
respect.
you know
cars.
where the bridge point is? Right here in San Mateo. So for Lions, we basically packed that whole thing from, the Starbucks side all the way to the Target side. That whole thing was packed. Like
Yeah.
the drone footage was
Oh, the
crazy.
Bridgepoint Center.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That whole thing, we filled it up.
yeah, that's big. That's a massive parking lot, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't expect it to get that crazy.
Yeah, that was wild.
We just knew that when we posted it and it just started spreading like wildfire.
That wasn't the day Ramil got pulled over in the.
Yes, it was.
That was the Lions.
'Cause I
meet.
brought all of y'all,
Oh,
bruh.
Shoot.
Bruh,
Okay.
'cause
Okay.
All of them was hitting me up after, like,
Yeah.
bro, you need to have like your own supercar group, good, because I brought all of y'all, bro.
I remember
Yeah.
because I remember
That's
going to
right.
that event. I brought the Z28 that day.
Yeah, I brought out Romel, got Sim to bring his thing, bro. I had all of y'all out there because y'all respect to y'all. Y'all love me just a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, man.
But no, that's it. That's the one, bro. It went all the way down. Like I think the original floor plan only had like halfway, and then like it wouldn't stop going.
Yeah, it was
It
crazy.
was wild.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good event, man. That one was it was very eclectic, dude. I was chopping it up with some dudes in this really hyped up classic truck. It was just like rat rotted out, but it was just bad ass, dude. And I was just sitting there just gawking at it, and we just had a full blown conversation. And I think that's what I love about those meets is they're so eclectic. Like you had a Lambo and Ferraris on there, you had classic cars, you had JDM, you had everything.
That was
So,
kind of the idea
found
behind
something.
getting those people, those specific people together. 'Cause
Yeah.
when you mash this all up, it's just like a melting pot of the automotive culture.
Yeah.
Which is cool because I think the guys who came with all the Fox bodies were like, they see Fox bodies every day, so they were walking around like, oh, this is cool, this is different, And then
Yeah.
everybody's like kind of intermingling and checking out the car culture across the board. So
Then you had the whole lineup of 1,000+ horsepower cars. Just every last one of them is over 1,000, like to the wheel. It was crazy. And then like one dude with his 2K horsepower, something like that. Huracan, something. Yeah,
That's
but
right. And then
yeah.
you got what's that shop? Nema. Pulled up
Nema,
with a
yep.
18-wheeler.
Carbon Kevlar.
Yeah, you got like the whole setup. It was like an 18-wheeler shop. It was
Yeah.
like up and down drift car. I was like, dang.
that's
Pulled out a
wild.
Carbon Kevlar Eurofighter. Yeah, that's the drifter cat that I was telling you about the other day.
I saw him come out of the trailer.
Yeah.
Right? He brought that. Yeah.
I think that's when he first showed it to the public after buying it.
Yeah.
So it was super hyped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a wild car.
Good
that was a
folk.
good event, man. So
Yeah.
it's like, all right, so Rat House has evolved from a custom wheel, bespoke, I guess, manufacturer or customizer into now what is known today as more of a one of the premier like event organizers for automotive, like eclectic car culture.
Put some respect on it. The
Yeah.
father of all the event organizers in the Bay. Okay, put some respect
There
on
you
it,
go,
man.
man. There you go. Yeah, it feels good, huh?
It does. It's
Absolutely.
very humbling, just to know that that's what people are saying after all the years and what you're doing. Sometimes you kind of just want to know where we're going. Like I said in my recent post, it's like everything moves with purpose. So you always got to remind yourself, like, what is my purpose? What am I doing this year? Set goals, small or large, milestones. So it's crazy to hear that because sometimes you're just like, why are we doing this stuff? You know, I mean, it's fun. Like it's my hobby. It's definitely what I enjoy personally.
Yeah.
But it does take into toll like time away from your family, all that stuff, right? So it beats down on them too, because then I've heard it from my wife multiple times. Shout out to her too, by the way, because she supports me 100%. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do any of this without her, obviously,
For
and her
sure,
support.
bro.
But so I've heard it time and time again, like, okay, another car thing, but you just gotta be consistent, right? You gotta keep the pressure on and.
But are
keep
you
going.
really shocked to hear that though? I mean, like
Kinda,
knowing
yeah.
your principles, bro, your morals, like you know how far out of your way that you've went to help people, and you're really shocked to hear that, like.
Yeah, I mean, because for me, it's kind of just I just do that out of my own general. I just feel like there's no other way to do it.
Exactly,
You know?
yeah.
That's just kind of like I feel like I need to help because I have those resources. Like I don't want to
Yeah.
gatekeep. It doesn't benefit me. Like I can do my own thing in my own way, and still try to help you, but also tell you like, yo, you're not gonna be successful unless you do it your own way. But give you kind of open that door a little bit for you.
Foundation, something to
Yeah.
stand on, leg to stand on.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, to your knowledge, with that being who you are, can you recognize any opportunities that that's given you? And then, like, how would you say that that's helped you get to where you are?
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel in the most recent experience, we did a private event with Rico. Rico's way on Instagram. He has like the crazy collection of gold cars, right? The RWB, 86, Datsun, all SEMA cars.
Yeah.
So he's of an older generation, right? So he has this mindset that the younger crowd and the younger generation now is.
Shout out to Rico, by the way.
Shout out to Rico.
I'm gonna get you on here too. Don't worry.
We'll make it happen for sure. But cats like him, pioneers in the automotive industry also, and he has this. The older generation has this image or like perception of the current scene has like recklessness and takeovers. So I think just maybe because of my character and how I approached him, and he's seen kind of how I was. He was just like, okay, this younger guy in the scene, he's not like the rest of them. I'm willing to work with him, and then it just opened an opportunity. Me, him, and Jimmy, GTR CEO, they reached out to me because they knew I was doing the events, and then we're not about the takeovers. Like, I got the vouch. Like, yeah, he's not about that. He's about bringing unity together and kind of just trying to bridge the gap between generations. So that was an opportunity that presented itself just because of people vouching for me and kind of what I've done just out of, just what I think is right. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's good to be able to connect with that. Rico's one of the. I remember when he's building his first car because I work with Marcus from MFR Fab for a long time. I actually remember when he first started his shop. He used to work at another performance shop, and he dined on he did the build on one of our clients' cars. It was a Tron Camaro that went viral all over the internet. I don't know how many places that thing got published, but it went on Gold Rush Rally, and he did a lot of the work on it. But he's working at another shop called Blue 808. And then from there, he he decided to start his own thing. And Marcus is another really good pillar in terms of that. Have you seen his Datsun?
Yeah,
that
yeah,
thing is
we've
wild,
talked.
bro.
We've talked.
So he's come a long way, and he's built a lot of those crazy cars. And I remember when they were doing the first build together with Rico, and that project turned out good, and the color he chose was awesome. And I think once he realized, like, okay, I might be onto something here, the projects just kept going. The RWB, the 240, and so on and so forth. So he's come a long way, and like I said, that was a good connect for you guys coming up. So what's you had some other questions too in regards to some of that that we were touching base on.
Yeah, no. So I mean, like everything that I was just really wanting to touch base, because really it's both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all both have a very similar demeanor about you. So I was curious, like what opportunities has that given you? But let's see. So do you think that your character specifically has driven growth within your organization? Like even so, we talked about how like it's driven networking, but do you think that it specifically is like driven growth?
I believe so. I mean, because everything is kind of just it's an idea sparked off of. I'm not trying to make something up that I'm not.
Yeah,
that's not me.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So everything that I believe in is kind of just, or even my ideas is just like it's sprouted from just genuinely how I conceive it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
In a weird way. Yeah. So it's I think it's offered growth because it's just being genuine to myself and like what I think I want to do and grow in what direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like that's kind of how it's helped us grow. It's just being consistent with that and not really doing something because it's cloud. You see what I mean? Or just like, I think people recognize that too. And then that's why people support us because I'm just like, try to be as genuine as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then same for you. This is a time to pat yourself on the back. I ain't gonna lie, because this is time to pat yourself for both of y'all. Because how has your character like driven growth within SSC?
I think it's one of the when you're making this like I guess recipe for whatever you want to call success in whatever industry or thing that you're doing in. I think one of those ingredients are definitely strong character, and that's going to be like things that you would hold as ethical, morals, things like that, and just doing the right thing even when it's a very tough thing to do, right? A lot of times you can walk away from a situation. If I'm at a car event, I'm hosting, if I'm imagining him in his shoes, there's many times you can look away and not help the other guy, or this guy needs a little bit of help, or that guy needs something carried, or whatever it is, small things to larger things, encompassing. But I would say, my grandfather used to say something a lot, and it was something that I still carry with me today. And he taught obviously my mom, and then there was just a pass on thing for going across the ways, but it dealt with character. It was a simple saying. Those OGs, man, they just have simple ways of saying stuff.
Yep.
But he would say, wealth lost, nothing lost. Health lost, something lost. Character lost, everything lost.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Hey, I like that.
Super simple.
Yeah.
But the more you think about that, especially throughout your daily actions and everything else, it really makes you focus and realize what's important to you as a core, as a person. Yeah,
Papa Khan dropping knowledge.
That's nasty. 100% facts.
So I think when you run about your day and you're working with people or individuals, whether it's just a friendship, anything else, friendship, marriage, business, organization, it's all the same thing. If you lead by that way, you're always going to be in a good ground. At least you can walk away, even if you have whatever failure, so you fall flat in your face. You can say, man, I still rode with what was right. You know what I mean? So what? Shit, I'll just pick myself up again and go again.
I might get that tattooed on me, bro.
Yeah.
That's so solid, bro. I'm gonna get that tattoo. All right, well,
my story. No, that was solid. Yeah, no, what he said.
Is it right? What he said,
That's basically what I was trying to say.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Man,
let me so I'm gonna give personal stories to kind of like validate for the viewers their character, right? So me and Johnny, we cool. I can't say like we best friends, but every time that we've met and we've linked, like it's been kosher. You know what I'm saying? It's been nothing but solid love and friendship right there. So I was supposed to go to one of his events because I'm cool with the boy Mike with BCL. We was all trying to get out there, and then my car broke down, like in the middle of nowhere, crazy hot. Bruh, still to this day, it's like a fuel starvation issue, some shit. But hit him up. I was like, "Hey, bruh, I'm so sorry I can't make it." Yada yada yada. And he's like, "Oh, it's good, bro. Like it was all cool." But then the next meet that I seen him at, he's like, "Hey, man, like don't even worry. The next one, dog, like you get in for free because it was like a paid event." And I was like, "Oh shit, worry." He's like, "Don't even worry about it, dog. Get you your cheddar. Like we gonna get you in for free." I'm like, "That's love." You know what I'm saying? It's something small. It's like some little thing like that. It's like, dude, don't even know me too well, but he knows I was hyped for the event. He knows I was hella disappointed I couldn't make it. And he's like, "Hey, bro, don't worry about it too much. There's going to be another one, and you get in free to the next one." I was like, that's crazy. That's love. And then for your boy Shareef over there, that one's actually, this is actually a really close friend. So as I've said before, you know, I know Bobby gets a little counter going for any time I repeat myself, but as I've said before, man, I swear to God, moved out here solo dolo, came by myself, no family, no friends, no nothing. And I was out here just last year, it was Thanksgiving, I had nowhere to go, and I was used to it. I was like, man, you know, I just chill at home. I eat ramen noodles on Thanksgiving. I don't know why I find it funny. I was like, everybody else eating big ass feast. I'm like, I could go out to eat, but it's just funny to me. Like, I'm gonna eat ramen noodles on the big feast day. Man's heard that I was solo dolo for Thanksgiving and like wouldn't take no for an answer. He's like, "Look, bro, I don't care. You coming to my house. It's like you gonna be surrounded by good people." And I said no so many times, and then like the day came, and I was like, all right, fuck it. So then I went ahead and went over to his house. And I've never felt more welcomed in my life. So, you know, these are my personal stories that like really speak to their character. And like, that's what we're talking about here is like that you don't get that from everybody. And that's why I really wanted to speak on y'all demeanor and everything. Cause like, y'all not copy and paste, y'all not cookie cutter. Like y'all definitely different. And it says a lot to who you are. And I feel like it's helped both of you get where you're at. So that's my.
I think both of us can say we appreciate the words, man.
Man, I appreciate y'all. Real talk.
Yeah, I don't think it goes. It's something that I guess Johnny and myself can both say we don't think about when we do things like that.
Right.
We just do them, and because we just feel like that's the right thing in our bones to do, is to take care of the people that you have around you. It's reciprocal. It goes back and forth. What I do for you, you're gonna pass on to the next person. And maybe you could say karma's a real thing or whatever you want to call it, but I think energy moves around like that. So you pass around good ones, that good vibe, that good energy is going to pass around amongst people that are in that same circle. So it at least that's that's my take on it. You know what I mean? So,
oh yeah, for sure.
You know, it is what it is in that regards. But hey, man, we do the best we can. You know what I mean? So
definitely, yep. And it's also like a good test of other people too, right? Because then you do them solid, and you just like, okay, you don't expect anything in return, but if they do, then you're just like, okay, well, these are like-minded people. You know, I keep my circle close. Like, I want to grow with these guys because they have my best interests too. You know, and they kind of act like I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something I think is like really powerful about the personalities that y'all have is you all are both of you are naturally willing to work with others, and you understand that working with others gets you farther, right? Like both of you started your own thing kind of solo, but you've both leaned on people as needed because you understand that that's like a necessity at times. So what would y'all say to people that feel like that they just need to do everything solo, like they have to bear everything on their back?
Man, it's damn near impossible really to keep doing it by yourself. It's not sustainable, and you'll only go so far. Right, you just need to have mentors. Look for mentors. Find people that champion you, and will be willing to go on that journey with you. Yeah. So that's how I got to where I'm at. I've been blessed enough to interact with. At one time when we started, we got into some funk and in the scene because without dropping names, it was kind of just like a long story short. We got caught up with Mark Arsenal from. He founded Illest Valet.
Yeah.
So
we've been to multiple events over the years.
Right. So he's an OG in the scene too, right? So
he's probably even your era, I would say.
Definitely.
Yeah, because we used to go to his events back in the days. That's when RWB was really popping off and all the other shit. But anyways, what was going on?
So
Now I'm interested.
despite the drama,
this is my generation.
yeah.
Hold on one
Despite the
second.
drama, like for me to reach out to somebody of his caliber, right, and he give me the time to give me advice and just be like, look, man, don't even worry about what's happening. Just like stay in your lane and just keep doing what you're doing. You know, these are always gonna happen, and then it's just a learning lesson for you. Just block it out. And it's just like, it shouldn't affect you more than it needs to. Just worry about yourself, you know. And then it just really played a big part for me to see that, like, okay, I need to do the same thing like he did. He's a big dog. I just had started doing events at the time. And then he gave me the time of day because we were popping off huge events at Alameda at the by the
Naval
USS,
base.
Naval base, yeah.
like huge, right? And then we got into it with another group. They kind of overran the spot, you know, crazy. That's the long story short, but we were kind of felt like we got bullied out of a situation, like a optimal situation that was happening because we were the little guy at the time. So that's kind of a little bit about that, but I won't go into the details. You know
Every
what I mean?
dog has his day, especially underdogs.
I was about to say, hey, boy, you big boy now. See, coming back.
Yeah, so that's kind of a prime example. So I always remember that, and when there's people that reach out to me that are, you know, small clubs, they want to do events, I just let them know, like, if you're thinking about it, just do it.
Yeah.
You got nothing to lose. Like, car people are genuine car people.
Yeah.
Like, if they want to go out and meet up for coffee, there's going to be people that show up there. If it's 5 people, 2 people, 6 people,
Yep.
people are going to show up. You
Yep.
know, it's not going to be about the attendance in the beginning.
Yep.
Just keep doing it. Just remember that the reason why you're doing it is because you're a car person.
Yep.
You know, you like cars. You want to make connections, interact with people. It's not about like throwing massive events. So that's what I tell people all the time.
And then for you and then reiterate the question. So to basically answer the exact same question, you know, what would you say to people that feel like that they got to do everything solo? You know what I'm saying?
I don't believe in self-made. Right.
Oh.
I think it's if you're ever gonna do anything massively successful, then where it's required, you know, an organization, a structure, of something of more bigger grandeur, not like a self battle, like you're trying to get in shape or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Those are things that, you know, you need to unlock your inner warrior, and you got to sometimes go to war yourself. It's because it's a battle with yourself. But in terms of what you're talking about, I think, you need like he said, to reiterate on what Johnny was talking about, you need to know that you can't build a bridge that's really well built by yourself. If you bring in a collective of people, you're going to build it faster. It's going to be better. It's going to be stronger. It's going to have multiple ideas behind it. Of course, there has to be someone who takes charge and ultimately is responsible and is the maestro for the orchestra. But you ultimately need a group of solid individuals around you to get somewhere or do something. So if you're fighting the fight alone, it's fine if you're doing something for yourself and you need to do the inner fight within yourself. But if it's doing something like what we're talking about, where it's more organizational or something on the outward side, yeah, man, you really want to do it well, you gotta have a squad around you. You know what I mean? And at least of really good people. So, you know, that's why I say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah. And it's another homage. They say was you're like if you're hanging with 5 people, you're gonna ultimately be the 6th.
Yep.
So if you know you can't be hanging around bums and other people like that, because
Show me your friends, I'll show you your future.
Exactly, man. And you know, a lot of us, we focus on what our futures are. I think as hunters, generally, we're always gonna have that mindset on where we're going and how to get to that next step. And a lot of times, you know, we work better in packs. So, you know, it seems to be that, you know, you've definitely found your groove, and you got your home pack, your family, which is very personal to you. Your wife's probably really, you lean in with all these ideas with her, and she's got your back. And that's there's no one more you can really trust in that situation. And then you got your young buck with you now, who's getting down on all the events and shows. And a lot of times when you do these events, I notice you got, you know, a lot of people helping, volunteers, and all. That's the thing. You created like a brand where people are like, hey, we need volunteers. People are just going to jump in and be like, yo, how can I help? What can I do? Especially a lot of the youth. And if you're gonna treat people like how you did him, like, yo, I'm sorry, man, you don't even know the guy. He's on the side of the road that well. You don't know him that much. And he's, next time, I got you, bro. Like little things like that, as you can see, go a long way for someone who's a car guy instead of saying, that's your problem. You know what I mean? And that character that we talked about, that's, I think, what he was touching on earlier is like that character that you're developing for yourself is really going to get you to that it's one of the pieces in that secret sauce. You know what I mean? You putting those ingredients together. And for you, I think it's definitely part of that character. Now, there's another part I'm going to touch on too, man. You pretty fly dude. Everybody's calling you Chance the Rapper. And I see how you coming in all scoped out. So where'd you get this? Is this the fashion sense that you usually typically bring into your car game or the car world? Or is this something you naturally had? Did you have were you like a sneakerhead growing up? What's the story?
I was definitely. So I was actually born and raised in L.A. So
you give me that vibe, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Giving me that whole
says
LA
right
vibe,
there,
bro.
boy.
Dom Kennedy, all that, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I moved up to the Bay Area in middle school, towards the end of middle school.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I started picking more up of my colorful fashion, and then I was in the East Bay for middle school, and in high school I went to James Logan in Union City. At the end of that, my folks decided they wanted to move out to the Valley, Patterson, which is still underdeveloped till this day.
It's out
you
there.
know what I mean? So it's like, nope, not gonna do that. I ended up moving out to the city, and I lived out there for 6 years, and then I started picking up bits and pieces there. Where actually at one point I started dabbling into the fashion scene, and I almost tried jumping off a fashion company with my boy, with cut and sew stuff.
And it's about to be Mason Margiela.
I know, bro.
So that was a crazy experience in itself because, it was fun, and you kind of just you're going with ideas that people have never done. Cut and sew wasn't a thing at the time.
Yeah.
So we were all like, okay, we're gonna change the sleeves on T-shirts and make it this fabric, and then we worked with this chick that ended up leaving to go to the the Rihanna TV show. It was a fashion show. It was some reality TV show, and then she was that Filipino chick. We worked with her, and then I was like, all right, guys, I gotta go do this TV show, and we're like, yo, this is crazy. She's like, we're working with the right person.
Yeah.
But long story short, that she was gone for a minute, and we're like, okay, that thing kind of fell off because we're like, all right, life happened basically.
Yeah, facts.
But yeah, that's kind of, I've always been into fashion, sneaks, everything.
You carry some of that influence over when you're building your brand, like the logo design, the apparel, it feels like you found an outlet to be able to do it now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's no denying the fact that everything that I with the marketing and stuff is stuff that I like. I wouldn't make it that way if I didn't like it.
You see what he pulled up in, right? Did you see it outside? Man got a monster truck Porsche, bro.
Oh, you got one of those off-road style builds?
Yeah, the 955 turbo. Yeah, so I got that one lifted up on 33s. I'm actually
built like jeans.
Yeah.
And those are, I remember when they came out. I love that style. I feel like you're actually now as a purpose built, you know what I mean? You're really using it. Whereas a lot of people, it's a love it, hate it kind of thing, especially when it first came out. But there's a whole car culture around that whole type of motif of building cars, man. Especially with the Porsche scene. That rally kind of vibe,
Exactly. It's big in the East Coast, and I don't see it very big here in the Bay Area for that platform. So I'm always about trying to do something that's not being done around here. So that's why I gravitated to that build. Yeah, but
dope.
Well, come on, SoCal, make it gold chrome. What's up?
So, God. A lot of people like doing the old school, desert rally liveries and things like that on there.
Yeah.
So when you come up with, one was they did it a lot on the, I want to say it's the Land Cruisers, was the camel livery, and that one is dope. I would love to do a patina version of that on an OG cruiser. That'd be dope.
That would be sick.
So, there's some ideas for you guys. All right, so somebody bring me some.
Bring us some work, man.
But it's cool to see that. What else touch points did you have? I know you had a little list of questions.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I've made sure every point was just hit casually. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to break it down. I got everything I want to say, man. It was really, I wanted to focus on character. How would you say that people that don't have that character, how it could be negatively affecting them without them even knowing it? You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I mean, I don't want to say specific people, but
No.
there could be opportunities that you miss because you're just not as approachable or not friendly. Maybe you had an opportunity right at your doorstep, right, and you were connected with the right person, but the experience for them was just not good because of something you said or maybe something that you did, right? You just carried yourself the wrong way, and that was enough for that opportunity to slip across your fingers. So I would say, you always want to treat others like you wanted to be treated. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and it's kind of like a reflection of yourself. You only get one chance to make an impression. You don't know when you're going to see this person, and I carry myself as a brand or as an organization because I represent that. So the way I want to be seen is I'm always thinking about that when I interact with people. I'm not going to be like wilding out doing something crazy where they're just like, yo, this guy's crazy. I don't
there's a time and place for that.
Yeah, everything has a time and place. So.
You know what I say? I have a thing with that is like I want people to be genuine. It's like you should always be genuine yourself all the time. But that doesn't mean you have to have the dial on full, right? So in certain situations, you can turn that knob down to dial down. You still be genuine, but just be aware of what you're saying around you saying, because you never want to have your genuine personality be the reason of you losing money all the time, especially when it comes to money talk. So in business, you got to try to find how to dial down your personality if you're one of those wild ones to get it to a place where, you can at least be understandable and just try to make it a little bit more neutral, but still be you. It's a tough thing, but, read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, man. It'll help you a lot. But
slow that down. Say it one more time. What's the name of it?
How to Win Friends and Influence People.
There we go.
By Carnegie, and that one is a good book. I've read it, I think, when I was maybe 19 or 20, and used to do a lot of sales back then. But self-education is a big thing. You gotta make sure you keep up to date on that, and that's gonna take you pretty far too, especially in the business world. Yeah, man. So the car, we got some good stuff from you today. We got the whole car culture, the whole scene. And you're into the whole Porsche stuff. Is there anything else that we've left off the table? Like, what kind of cars are you into? Like, out of everything you're working with, eclectic style. What's your take? Like, what is your personal vibe? You said JDM wheels. I want to say, right?
No, I mean I got.
You were Euro.
Right,
my bad. You said
so I got a lot of old school E30s right now. That's kind of what my flavor was, or it still is till this day. But when I started getting into cars, it was all about JDM. Yeah, so I had like 3 Cressidas back in the day. Like the box chefs of the Japan world, boy. Those Supras is huge in my family, even with my lady and her pops and all her uncles have like MK3s, MK4s. So I went and got an MK3.
No way. So I got one. I had an 87, bro.
Yeah, I got 89 right now. It's
look at you.
Dude, that was like, man, it just had that like 850 BMW style front end to me when I would look at it, and I'd be like, man, this is sexy. The more I had it, and it was like that burgundy color, man, dude, I miss that car, bro. I really do,
now.
Man. Yeah, no,
it's so expensive, so hard to restore.
I bought that with I bought it for $3K from a Filipino dude who just was damn near crying when he sold it to me, and he had like custom built like slump in the trunk, bro. It was like badass. I think I put like 17-inch chrome neepers on it.
Jesus.
It was fun days, man. It was fun days back then. But those Supras, those MK3s, I think they're just the way they look are timeless, bro.
Yeah. I do have there's 2 things I want to do because I know how I want to end this one. I think it'll be pretty cool. But first off, what's your lady's name?
Jessica. All
right, so shout out Jessica, shout out Mickey, and every other significant other that is the rock for people trying to do what they do out here. Because y'all heard how important that is for people trying to make their own wave. So shout out to every significant other that is supporting their person.
Thank you.
And then I think a great way to leave this one is for both of you to tell one story where somebody else's character truly, like how I did about you all, like where somebody else's character truly impacted y'all.
Damn, why you gonna put me on a spot like this, bro?
Bro, like it shouldn't be that hard, bro. Those are core memories right there. You know what I'm saying,
dude? It's like when you give so much, you don't really pay attention to that stuff. But it's no,
I'm not saying how you gave to somebody else. I'm saying like how somebody else
it's
gave
the other
to
way
you.
around.
Yeah.
You're asking me the question the other way around.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just been so many, like the Mark Arsenal story, right, is one that I can say. And we're not like super close. I mean, I DM'd him and he gave me the time. I'm sure he gets it all day, but
Yeah.
why he respond to me, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one situation. I mean, I talk about my boy John Jay that did the wheel thing with. He's just, his character is just that, man, like he's such an inspiration to me, just because, like you said, you're always you're always a student, always learning. He's always trying to become like even more of a master in his craft. He's, whenever he has an idea, he's always about just jumping on it, right? So that's why this whole thing even started, is because he's like, look, let's make the wheel company happen, right? So I think just seeing his character and how motivated he is has inspired me into jumping into the deep end and like going after a lot of things that I do today. And I often go there, not a lot, but when I need some inspiration, like I often go over there because like I said, I always leave like so inspired. Like we just, there's certain people that you meet and then you just rattle off energy, and then you're just like bouncing so many ideas off. You're like, where was all this before? You know what I mean?
It's a
like,
good person to have in your corner.
Yeah, so there's that's one thing, going back to what we were talking about earlier about having people that you can't do it solo, right? Ideas are kind of conceived by having interactions. You can only have good ideas for so long. Like, that's just the nature of things. So you need to have like those people, those mentors, people that you can have genuine interactions with that
For sure.
build
I love
good
that.
ideas.
Motivation, inspiration. I love that for sure. What about you, pimpin'? See what you're thinking, face on.
Nah, I was listening to the story, but in terms of like that, there's I don't know if there's a way to have like enough thanks for so many people that kind of drive you or push you. Like it's, it's family, it's my parents, it's my wife, it's my son, it's my team here, it's just other people that have supported me from day one that are in the friends group. There's just so many people that are out there. Also the haters too, right? So there's those people out there that have always looked at, and I think he touched on that a little bit with the underdog story. You know what I mean? There's such a long period of time when you start a business from zero and you really don't have anything. It's just your hard work ethic that a lot of people write you off, especially when you're working in the car game. It's more specifically in the luxury and exotic niche like we work in. So in that process, there's been a lot of that, at least from what I felt, that like, okay, I was always written off as an underdog. So the people that are truly there, that have been there for the love and the support and have just been very genuine, it shows itself. If you keep your character the same way like we spoke of, and you're always solid, and you're always giving, and you're always trying to help people out, and have your morals and ethics, you also, by just normal procedure, are paying attention to the reverse. You're paying attention to what's happening on the opposing side, who is actually taking that, or just taking from you, or just utilizing you or using you, and who are the people that are genuinely trying to actually build you up and like come to you for services and whatever it is that you're doing, or support your event, or however you want to say. For me, like positive impacts of people, I can probably pull sample stories from every one of those like sectors that I talked about in terms of people that have helped me along the way. And I don't know if I can thank enough people to give me that supercharged energy. A lot of times I'm looked at as like the person who everybody comes to in my organization and friends for like that support and help. And it's seldom that, I can look into an individual person. But I would say I would thank a lot of people along that journey. My parents for sure, Nick, who gave me the first start, Jimenez on the peninsula, when I first was like trying to look for a spot to come out here and try to service people out here. He gave me that bay. My first actual work bay was just one bay, and I was scared, terrified. I was like, fuck, I gotta pay $500 a month. I don't know how I'm gonna make this work. And then, now we're in like crazy digits in terms of overhead, but it's like, it's all the people along the way to journey to this point that have been part of that story that you can write. I think all of us could write our own storybooks about, that whole journey and all the people that have given back, into that moment. So I don't think I could say I take energy from a certain person or you know, like I look towards one place for that, but it's a collective of all the people that are always around me, my team, as well as the people that have come, you know, through that journey thus far.
I'm gonna get a sentimental story out of you one of these days. We're gonna get you to tell one.
Yeah, man.
This man's
It's
always
tough
playing
to
it so
come up-
cool and so
Nah, it's-
general,
yeah,
You
man.
got all the answers.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
tough for me to come up with a single one. But a lot of these things, this is what I like doing with the conversation piece. Sometimes I can get somebody like Johnny,
Yeah.
and we're having here a one-on-one conversation. When we're in the midst of things,
Yeah.
Johnny's like, Johnny, yourself, us, we're just running. Like, okay, I got my cars all lined up. Where's my team? We got to set up my booth. And Johnny's like, hey, everything good? All right, dude. Can I park some cars here next to you? You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody's like on this mission.
Yeah.
And when we do events here, we're hosting an event somewhere else, or I'm like planning a rally, or I'm doing a booth set up in Monterey Car Week.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like what he's talking about. I don't even remember what happened towards the end of the day. It's like you did all this stuff, and at the end, you're just like, God, I got a 1 year before this happens again. You know what I mean? So it's like you take that deep breath of just like relaxation, but there isn't that time to say, yo, what up, G? What's cracking? You know, and just have like a 5 minute, like everybody shut the hell up conversation.
Yeah.
You can't in that midst of things. So to have someone like Johnny here on the podcast, and we're both, you know, having a conversation, we get to know him a little bit deeper on that. He can share some of his stories. And I appreciate you taking the time to come out, and vice versa. You get to get a little bit more of a closer peek into who we are as people. So,
One love.
do you have any final thoughts, my man?
No, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me, man. It's been long overdue. I know we had to reschedule a couple times because of life, but I mean, I enjoy being here because I get to tell my story. I get that question asked about us all the time, so now I can put that to rest. And
There it is.
I heard a lot of compliments that I didn't even know that were existing in the community. You know, so it's just I'm gonna walk away from this just like feeling refreshed.
There it
you
is.
know?
You want to
You
know
need
where Rat
that
House
power,
is?
you
Go
need
watch
that-
the podcast. Yeah.
There you go, man. And I would say, man, for all of you guys out there, he said it was CA_Radhouse.
Yep.
And then that's it, right?
Space.
RADHAUS.
Yeah.
And that's on IG. You got any other platforms you want people to check you out on, or is IG the main
That's
one?
it. We got a website that's on the IG. That's where we put all the events. Any merch is also up there. But we got our event calendar coming up soon. We got maybe 4 events dropping this year.
There we go.
Cool.
So stay tuned. We should
There
be
we
making
go.
some
Yeah, make sure you
announcements
go ahead, give him a follow, give him support, share the stuff, cop some merch. I mean, he's a designer. He got the Pharrell going, so you know
Man.
he's gonna bring some of that LA vibe into his apparel and clothes. So I appreciate you coming on board. AJ, you have any last thoughts as well?
Actually, yeah, man. To close it out right after this, and this should be the title of the podcast as well. It's Yo Papa Khan's quote, man.
You think so,
Mon-
man?
Money loss, nothing lost. Health loss, something lost. Character loss, everything lost. That's it.
There you go, man. I don't even need to say anything anymore, bro. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure to like, comment what was something that you learned from this whole situation, and make sure to smash that subscribe button. So appreciate all y'all. Deuces.
Signing out.